Oh my God. Oh, trainers. Hi. I didn't see you there. Good afternoon, trainers. We are back at Centennial Park. I have been downtown for the past 2 videos, so I figured I would rotate back to the other place I'm at all the time. Here kind of late today, pulled in at about 5:45. So we got 3 raids going on right now, 2 that pop in a couple minutes, and a Patricia raid that is currently active. And we are still hunting that blue-eyed Patricia, so we are on the way. Okay, so we have some announcements. I'm gonna start with the most important thing first. Niantic has announced a new app, new service called Niantic Wayfarer, and this is gonna be the new point of interest, or POI, submission system, which in turn converts to Pokestops, portals, anything that we need in Niantic's games to interact with. So currently they're beta testing these types of things in other countries in the Pokemon Go client, and traditionally those get added through Ingress, which is Niantic's first game. This new app will allow for everybody to submit Pokestops in any country, in any territory, for any game. Because this is also good news for Harry Potter players. They announced in the coming weeks they will roll out more details. So now that this is the official news, I will give you some speculation. Typically, in any Niantic game, when they roll out new features, it's only available to top level players first. So I'm assuming that only level 40 trainers, and they're probably gonna do it by country or by region. So they might go, okay, the Americas and Greenland get it first if you're level 40, or Europe gets it if you're level 40, so on and so forth. And then as they beta test it and prove that it actually works and it's not a fluke and there's no bugs, which comical coming from Niantic, there will be bugs, they'll roll it out globally. And then we will have a full-fledged point of interest submission system for all Niantic's AR real world games, which is a big deal. Because if you look at some of these countries that have the game but didn't really have Ingress, they have nothing. They have no spawn points, they have no Pokestops, they have no gyms. This is gonna be a big deal. Now, in my opinion as well, the next big thing that Niantic needs to implement after POI submission systems is a way to constantly update the overworld map. Because I'm sure some of you notice, if you live in a place like me, I live in Nashville, if you can't tell by my jersey. Nashville is a growing city, and the game's been out for 3 years, and in 3 years, Nashville has changed a lot. We're talking new roads and new paths. I mean, the park I'm at right now, Centennial, is getting a remodel, and they're changing all the paths. So when it's done, all the in-game paths will be incorrect. For those of you who are not aware how it works, they use OpenStreetMaps, which is an editable maps system. You can edit things in Google Maps, but you can't like add roads or add houses or buildings. You can only suggest that places are there, and then Google reviews it. On OpenStreetMaps, you can quite literally edit everything. Everything can be edited. For example, I went through my little town and added all the lines in the parking lots. Not like the lines you park in, but like the parking rows. So that way, if I'm ever in a parking lot, it would accurately reflect on the Pokemon Go client. Of course, those things have not been added because they haven't done an OpenStreetMap sync, I think, since December 2017. So it's been quite some time. So if they could develop some kind of a system that updates that more often, I feel like I'm not a businessy person, but I think a company that could really benefit mutually would be if they partnered with Microsoft. Because think about how Bing didn't really take off, right? It's kind of popular in other countries, but not necessarily in the big ones. But they have a maps just like Google does. So if they partnered with Bing or something like that, as long as it happened more often, I don't care what they do. Okay, back to the game that I'm playing right now real quick. Let's see if I can get the shiny Patricia. Nope. By the way, if you're clicking on this video because of the title and you don't know who I am, that's like a running joke for me, is that I call Pat Rats Patricia, because I did that the first time I saw it because I didn't know how to say its name. So stay tuned for the Wayfarer thing. I am a level 40 player in the Americas, so part of me wants to think that I will be among some of the first. Yeah, I say some. There's a lot of level 40 players in America. But I will have access to it more than likely before most people would. So I will definitely do videos on it and demonstrate and do some educating and showing how it works. So be sure to click the subscribe button if you don't know me, if this is your first time on the channel, hi, I'm Trainer615. I make Pokemon Go videos on YouTube. Okay, and as I battle this rocket stop, let's talk about the next set of news that we have. Halloween event. Okay, so we're getting Darkrai in normal raids. Kind of shook everybody. We thought we were definitely going to get Darkrai in EX raids next because it was also a special event Pokemon like Mewtwo and Deoxys were. But that turns out to be not true at all. Regigigas will be the next EX raid Pokemon. They're doing something kind of controversial, but I think it's a good idea. And I think it's a good idea for one key word they used in the announcement. Early access to Regigigas, not exclusive access. By buying a ticket for $7.99 to access a special research event, just like the Mew and Celebi quests and stuff like that. A special research that will grant you Regigigas at the end. Now, if this was an exclusivity thing, like this is the only way you could get Regigigas, this would 100% be awful. Be totally, it would destroy the game. And Pokemon Go would be moving one step closer to awful monetized games. I'm not gonna name any other games, but you know how some mobile games can be, monetize you to death. Now, what I do like about this is people, the number one complaint I hear amongst Pokemon Go players is, I live here, I can't get this, or hey, I can't afford to travel, so I can't go to events. So I feel like a good solution is to charge slightly less, which $7.99, correct me if I'm wrong, outside of the free events, is cheaper than any other ticket that we've had to any Pokemon event. So for $7.99, you can access an event worldwide at the same time for event spawns and a special research reward. And it's not exclusive because Regigigas will be in EX raids. So as long as you get out and raid occasionally, you will have the chance to catch it on your own. It's not like you have to buy this ticket to get it. I think it's a good idea. I'm really stoked for this in the future because imagine going forward, just to visualize this real quick. Next year at GoFest, you know, say it's $20 for a GoFest ticket if you go to Chicago, but you can spend $10 and access the same spawns, you know, wherever you live. But let's say for that instance, you like don't get the next thing. So like obviously next year, I can see GoFest getting Shaman, which is a Gen 4, you know, legendary Pokemon. Not good. I'm gonna purify it for the stat and transfer it. Imagine a small paywall to access event spawns where you don't actually have to go. And again, I said maybe exclude the special event Pokemon such as Shaman, but think about what is at every single GoFest, Safari Zone, etc. A regional Pokemon. I think this is a good way to balance out regional Pokemon being hard to obtain and allowing the person that can't afford to travel to get access to it. You're telling me right now, you can't afford to travel to New Zealand. GoFest Chicago next year, the regional spawn is Relicanth. And for $10.99 for your entire day that your ticket is good for, you can catch Relicanth and you wouldn't do it? I would. And the only reason I think it's like gamer ethical, if that's even a term, is because I could go to New Zealand and get it. Or, and I don't condone spoofing and I'm not a spoofer. I could spoof and get it for free, right? But if I pay for it, it feels right. You know, like I'm not cheating. It's something Niantic provided for me to obtain it. And there's a caveat, right? Because you know when it's legit because everything is geotagged. So the Relicanth will say New Zealand if it's actually from New Zealand. And who cares if it's an event spawn? You're completing your Pokédex, right? So I'm all for this, A Colossal Discovery as it's called. I will be participating. I don't think I'll be able to play day of, but they said if you buy the ticket, you'll get the special research and you can complete it at your leisure, but they recommend doing it the day of because the spawns will be better. And that is my opinion on that. And lastly, this is the most exciting news, but not as intense for discussion. Halloween event, I mentioned it briefly because of Darkrai. We will have Darkrai in raids. We'll have the 3 Kanto starters wearing adorable costumes. Here's a picture. In raids for us to catch. And the most meta thing possible, we have a Pikachu wearing a Mimikyu costume that will be spawning in the wild. That is like kind of hilarious actually. So that will be exciting, and we'll be getting Yamask in the game, which I love. Kofagrius, he is one of my favorites. I love ghosty boys. And potentially a shiny. I hope that the spawns are boosted, and I would even be okay if the shiny rate was boosted a little bit. All types of exciting things on the way. Starting November 1st, when the A Colossal Discovery thing will come out, we are gonna have the Reggies back in gyms. But now we do get the shiny chance for the Reggies, which will be exciting. Regirock is actually one of my favorite Pokemon, and I'm excited because the shiny for that is like a nice dark brown. Here are some photos on screen to see the shinies. Oh, apparently I've never caught Weedle before. It seems like every time they do a Shadow Pokemon update, all the nearby indicators kind of spaz out and show you that you don't have it. I'm very excited to announce this. Shiny update. Trainers, I did it. I caught my most anticipated shiny. I got the shiny Barboach, and I am stoked about this. Part of me wanted to wait to evolve it next to Bridgestone Arena, but I'm wearing my jersey, so that's close enough, right? So let's do it. Let's evolve. I named my Barboach Duchesne, which is a newly acquired big trade for the Nashville Predators. If you guys are not well versed in hockey or the NHL, the catfish is a big symbol for Nashville hockey. So it's only fitting that I named a player for my Whisk Cash. All right, and not necessarily a shiny, but I caught 100% Skorupi, so we're gonna go ahead and evolve that real quick. Okay, perfect timing. I literally walked up to the trade and it popped. 3 rare candies, that's what I'm talking about. He. Oh my God. Why am I so lucky with Giratina? This is so stupid. If anybody needs a shiny Giratina in Nashville, hit me up. I will trade you anything decent. Okay, trainers, we did some good news coverage today. I gave a couple of opinions about what is coming forward into the game next. And we actually got another shiny legendary, so not a totally unproductive day. I didn't even really plan on filming a video today. I kind of just took my camera to the park and said I'll film if I feel like it, and I guess I felt like it. So be sure to subscribe if you want more content from me. I will have some more tutorial videos coming soon, much like the How to Catch a Ditto video. Thanks for 700 views, by the way. Kind of crazy. Subscribe for more content like this, kind of like a casual Let's Play vibe to Pokemon Go. And in the future, I will show off the Niantic Wayfarer app to submit points of interest as discussed previously. We will have a Halloween event video coming out probably sometime next week. And as always, Pokemon Go is dead.